Hi, and welcome to day 52 of 365 inspired yoga classes. And today I'm going to give you 5 key yin poses. And they're key to relieving low back pain, stretching the body, really good, especially we've been working out so hard the last few days. So let's wind down with some yin yoga today. Before we get started, grab some props. I highly recommend you have blocks nearby, and we take a blanket and we lay it over the mat because we're going to be seated on the mat and laying on the mat for a length of time, and the props will help us hold the time. So we'll start off seated on the mat, and let's set our intention. Just take a moment, take one block, maybe set it beneath your seat, and find yourself seated comfortably on your yoga mat. Rest your hands on your thighs, close your eyes, and roll your shoulders down and back. Just take a moment here to notice how you're feeling. Check in with your body, check in with your breath, check in with your emotions and your thoughts. And as we move through our practice today, let's bring the hands to prayer position in front of the heart. Let's set our intention to practice slowing down. As we slow down our practice, we can take in information, we can learn something about ourselves, and we can pause to appreciate the sweetness of life. Maybe there's something else on your mind or in your heart today, and you want to work through letting it go, or find out whatever it is you need to grow more of in your life. So just take a moment to think about, what do you need more of? What do you need to let go of? And maybe slow down into the process of whatever that is. Breathe it in. And as you exhale, open your eyes and release your palms down. Yin Yoga has 3 principles. One is to find your appropriate edge, where you feel the stretch deeply without pain. The second principle is to find stillness in that space that you created. And the final principle, the third principle of Yin Yoga, is time. So I'll let you know how long we'll hold each pose as we get to it, and then we'll work on really feeling them. So the time that we hold a pose is usually between a minute and as long as 10 minutes for some postures. We're going to start in butterfly pose, and these are the 5 key poses in Yin that I find are most beneficial for releasing, for stretching the hips, the low back. So we come to butterfly posture by bringing the bottoms of the feet together to touch. Pull the heels in close to your groin, as close as you comfortably can. Incorporate blocks in a number of ways. One way you could bring blocks into your practice is to place the blocks underneath your knees like this, and that'll support so you don't overstretch there. You could take this posture into a deeper representation by leaning forward, so blocks might provide you some sort of support if you want to lean forward and rest your head on the blocks. I want you to come into the posture with the attitude of Yin. Yang is the posture or practice we've been doing. Active, busy, sweaty, and strong. Masculine, if you will. Yin is the practice of cooling, of stillness, feminine, calm, and peaceful. We will be holding this posture for 4 minutes. I'll keep track of time, you keep track of your body. You've been in this posture already just about a minute. And what happens in the body after 30 seconds to a minute is the resistance we feel in the inner thighs, maybe a little bit of something in the lower back, starts to melt away. We start to trust the stretch. So it might be a point where you're finding that pose, that edge, and you're holding still in it. But this is also an opportunity to deepen the stretch. And to deepen the stretch, you could do a couple of things. You could take a moment to draw the heels closer to the groin. You could bend deeper forward. You could push your knees open wider using the elbows. or your hands. So find the appropriate edge for yourself. Good news, we're halfway there. 2 more minutes to hold butterfly posture. What I love about butterfly pose too is bringing the bottoms of the feet together brings you into a connection to the fascia, the tissue throughout your body. I've explained this in other videos, but let me share with you just a little insight into that. The fascia is the connective tissue that runs throughout your body. It gives the muscles and the organs of your body their shape. It also provides a surface or a network for the nervous system to work through, to move through. So in order to really feel what that is, you might notice where your hands are touching your body. For example, my hands are touching my feet. And I can feel the sensation of my hands touching my feet. And this sensation is one that the nervous system takes in and moves all the way through the body, all the way to the brain. And the brain says, I can feel a sensation of touching my feet. And it happens in a fraction of a second. We have just under 1 minute left in this pose. Are you feeling resistance in your body? Are you feeling tightness? Sometimes it's felt as a tingling sensation. Other times we might feel that sensation as heat. Stay with it if you can. Breathe through it if you will. Stay with it. There you go. So we have held this posture for 4 minutes. Oliver loves Yin Yoga. You could join me in doing Yin Yoga today, but you need to come to your blanket over here, Oliver. Come on over here on your blanket. There you go. Lay down. A key thing that we can do here in Yin too is as we move from one pose to the other, because we've created such a deep stretch, I'm going to ask you to move really slowly. So take your hands to the outside of your knees and start to draw your knees up. You might begin to lean back into it. There you go. Place your hands behind you and toe heel your feet to the outer edges of your yoga mat. Maybe even a little bit wider. I'd like you to think that you're moving through honey or something thick as you slowly windshield wiper your knees side to side. You'll feel your hips release as you take this little counter stretch. Just moving nice and slow. I'm going to challenge the hips and really stretch the lower back in a posture called frog pose. For those of you that are challenged in this hip opening stretch, have your block nearby and I'll demonstrate what to do with the block. We're simply going to roll up onto the feet with the feet separated like you've created them here in your little stretch, and place the block right underneath your seat like a little cushion, like a little seat, if you will. And then your arms will come so that the elbows will come to the inside of the thighs and your hands will come to prayer position. Begin to draw your thumbs down between your chest and just pause. So remembering the principles of Yin Yoga to find your appropriate edge. For me, the appropriate edge is to shift forward off the block and bring my hands to prayer position, using my elbows to push my knees open. We'll find stillness in this posture. It's a little bit more challenging, so let's make this one about a 3-minute posture, not including the minute that we took to set it up. So as you hold this pose, your elbows are pushing into the knees or your hands can come to the floor. Finding your appropriate edge means that there's no sharp pain. So if you're experiencing pain in your body, then you need to back off, sit on a block, maybe just let it go and decide this posture is not for you today. What I love about this particular pose is that it really stretches into the lower back. Can you feel it back there? Sure, we're feeling it in the knees, maybe even a little something in other areas of the legs, but feel the lower back begin to release and stretch. Remember, you can always sit on a block or two. We're 1 minute into the pose. How you doing? How you hanging? Sometimes this is like, whoa, this is really tough. And that's why there are different variations of time. So the more you do Yin Yoga practices, especially to complement your Yang strong practice, the more you will be able to hold the postures and appreciate the deep stretches. Lots of variations on this pose. You could put your hands down. You could sit back on your tush. You could sit on a block. Let's talk about breathing. Breathing is necessary for life, of course. Breathing is necessary for our yoga practice, and we use breath synchronized movement and breath control in a yang yoga practice, but this is yin yoga. So of course your body is breathing, and I would like you to allow your breath to flow as naturally as you possibly can. We've got 1 more minute here. Can you hang in there? If you are getting cramps in your muscles, if you're really struggling, then I might ask that you come out of the pose early. Or if you can stay with it, stay with it. I'm feeling like a little bit of intensity in my legs, and definitely feeling the stretch in my hips and my lower back. And that's where it feels super good to me. I hope it's feeling okay to you, and if it isn't, you've decided to exit the posture just a little bit earlier. We're almost there. Last 30 seconds. It might be a little uncomfortable, and what happens with discomfort is that we learn to endure a little bit, and then we move through it, and we find a release when we've come out of it. All right, last 10 seconds. How are you breathing? Gentle, yin-like, and easy. I would like you to use your hands to control the exit, placing your hands down on the mat and moving out of the posture. Send your feet forward just a little bit, hands behind you, and ever so gently windshield wiper your knees side to side, just to feel a release in your hips. Do you notice the other effect? You're giving your butt a little massage. Kind of a funny thing. All right, we're gonna shift onto our tummy, giving our legs a break using the upper body. Hey, Oliver. Moving into seal pose, and for me, seal pose is a challenge to hold for very long. So we'll hold for a minute and we'll do it twice so we get the most from the pose. So moving slow, like you're moving through honey, coming onto your tummy. Honey. Once you're on your belly, I want you to place your palms next to your shoulders, or you back it up close to your chest, as wide as the width of your mat. And then pushing into the mat, straighten the arms as much as you can. Now, if you're really tight in back bends, come down and move your hands forward and then lift up. If you're feeling pretty flexible in back bends, you back your hands up. Let's talk to the feet before we get started our time. You're going to turn your toes out, heels in like the flippers of a seal. Stop looking. And then pressing into the mat, begin to push up. Roll your shoulders down and back and lift your gaze. We'll hold here for 1 full minute. So this is pretty intense. It's a lot of work on the arms. You almost lock out the elbows so that your arms don't have to work quite so strong as you hold seal pose. Now, if you look up at the screen, you can see why it might be called seal pose. I look like a harbor seal sitting here. Oliver. Good. Okay, we're halfway there. How you doing? If your arms get too tired, come out of it early. If you can, stay with it. When we work on a yin posture, we're stretching one part, the front line of the body, and sometimes working strong in another part of the body. But we're finding stillness here. Keep breathing. You've got another 15 seconds. If you can stay with it, stay with it. Last 10. Exit slowly like you're moving through honey as you lower back down. From here, we'll stack the palms one on top of the other. Forehead rests on the back of the hands. Bend your knees and windshield wiper your feet side to side to release your lower back. All right, let's do it again. 1 more minute. Laying your feet down, toes out, heels in like the flippers of a seal. And then your palms come as far back as you can comfortably bring them. Using arm strength, you push up to stretch the front line of your body and maybe lift your gaze as your shoulders roll down and back. What I love about this posture also is how it opens up the heart. So if you have had a day of sitting at a computer or driving in a car and you're holding this pose, I need to go a little bit higher, a little more traction. There we go. then you start to open your heart up in the opposite direction. So it helps your posture so you're not rounded and slouching forward. How's your breath? Keep your breath flowing nice and easy, smooth and deep. Let it be natural without too much self-control over the breath. Just let it flow. We're halfway there. Keep breathing nice and easy and stretching the front of your body. Maybe even lifting your gaze up for a little more stretch through the heart. Last 15 seconds. Stay with me. Remember, you're moving through honey as you slowly lower down. Once you come down, slant your palms one on top of the other. Bend your knees and windshield wiper your feet slowly to release your lower back. Good. Now let's push into tabletop. And let's release our back with a little cow-cat stretch. So with your palms lined up under your shoulders, knees lined up underneath your hips, breathe in to drop your belly and lift your gaze. Exhale, round it out, cat pose. Keep flowing. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Do a couple more on your own, just breathing. Oliver. One more round. And then coming into a neutral tabletop position and sitting on your mat. We've got 2 more yin poses to complete our 5 pose practice. The next one is dragonfly posture, and I recommend that you have some blocks nearby. Oliver, stop. So as you take your legs and open them wide like the letter V, bring your blocks in front of you. And then we're going to lean forward into the blocks. You'll kind of play around with what height works best for you. Pretty intense, isn't it? Okay, so we're going to get into this pose. And we're going to hang out here for 4 minutes. That's a long time. But it's a good stretch. And I want you to really be aware, where are you feeling the stretch? So for me, it's definitely in the back of my legs and also my inner thighs and groin area. When we stretch the hips, the inner thighs like this, it helps to release the lower back. So as you hold this stretch, if we were going to take a real yang attitude, we might flex the feet, turn the toes out, all of that. But because it's a very passive yin practice, you might allow your feet to just kind of lay however they do. Some people's toes turn in, others turn up toward the ceiling. Just kind of lean forward into it and breathe. Whew. Okay, we have been here just about a minute. So now is the chance you have from the stillness you've created and the edge you've found to deepen the edge, to go a little bit deeper. So maybe you go down a little bit further into your version of the stretch. And some of you might be all the way up. Each of us is very different. So please take care of your body and go only as far as feels right for you. So as we pause here to really breathe in this space we're creating in the body, just noticing how it feels. Where is it intense? Where is there tension and tightness? And where could you breathe into that gently and feel it release just a little bit more? For me, it's definitely kind of the back of my thigh right through here. For you, it might be your low back or the inner groin muscles. It could be the inner thighs, the adductor muscles. We're halfway there. How you doing? Keep breathing. Stay with me. Looks like Oliver got a little relaxed finally, settled in. Do you notice as you're practicing yoga, if you have pets, that your pets come around? And if you practice yin yoga or some gentle practice, you'll find they want to hang around and relax with you. They like that you've chosen to slow down your life. It's a good practice, a mindful practice, to slow down, to pay attention, to be present. Let's see if we can stay here 1 more minute. We're almost there. Just breathing deeply, relaxed and easy. Present with the sensations in the body. Such a delicious practice once you get used to it and enjoy the stretch. Last few seconds, hang in there, last 10 seconds. So important that we come up slowly, slowly. Woo. I have a fun little cue for you. I think you're going to like it. I ask you to take your fingers to the outside of your knees and then use arm strength to gently lift your legs up. Keeping your feet slightly wider than the width of your mat. Let's do that gentle hip release by taking our knees and rolling them to one side and sending them to the other. I want you to look at your legs as they swivel over. The next posture is called cattail. And it's as if one of your legs becomes the tail of the cat. And you're going to try to catch that tail. It's a reclining posture done on the back. So as you come to your back, make some space around the mat so you've got plenty of space to move in. Draw both knees into your chest and give yourself a little squeeze. Okay, Oliver, come on. Move your dog out of the way. Place your feet down. We're going to take the right leg and send it over to the right, and the left foot is going to come behind me. My left hand, oh my gosh, I messed that up. Okay, you can't sit on top of me. Your left leg will come over. Sit down. There you go. Sit. The right hand will draw the left leg over, and here's the cattail. The left hand grabs the right foot. Are you with me? All right, find your position and relax into it. And this is a little bit awkward, so let's hold this one for just, say, about a minute and a half. We took about 30 seconds to set it up, so we'll stay with it for about a minute and a half, just relaxing into the twist, using the right hand to draw the left knee closer to the earth, the left hand to draw the right foot behind you like a cat's tail. There you go. Awesome. All righty. So we're almost there, about 30 seconds longer. Just stay with it. Turn your gaze in the direction of your cattail. So as the left leg goes right, the gaze goes left. I was a little confused there at the beginning, but I think we've got this. Woo. Awesome. Almost there. Last 30 seconds, I think that should do it. Remember, we're moving slowly. And here we go. Let's slowly unravel. Unravel your twist. And then let's neutralize that cattail twist by drawing the knees into the chest. Nice. All right, let's see if I can be a little clearer on side two. With the feet on the mat, lift your right knee and use your left hand to guide your right leg over to the left into a twist. There you go. Reach your right hand back and see if you can find your left foot like the cat tail that you grabbed on the first side. And if it's not happening, maybe you grab a block or a strap. And then turn your gaze in the direction of the tail, so my gaze turns over to the right. And just relax and hold this posture. Is your dog in your face as well, or your kitten? Maybe leave a comment for me about that. I'd love to hear how your dogs either enhance or inhibit your yoga practice from day to day. We're 30 seconds in. We're going to hang out here for at least one more minute, trying to keep both sides a little evened out as best we can. You might notice one side of your body is a little more flexible than the other. We're almost there. Stay with me. Just another about 30 seconds left. Just holding this little cattail. Giving your spine a twist. Your legs an added stretch. Woo. Yin Yoga is such a great counter to all the strong Yang Yoga that we do. Alrighty, you're there. Let's slowly, like we're moving through honey, unravel your twist. Draw both knees into your chest and give yourself a squeeze. Those were 5 wonderful Yin practices, Yin postures that we did together. It's nice to soak up the goodness of your practice by resting in Shavasana. And in Shavasana in Yin Yoga, we often open it up nice and wide, and it's called Pinnacle Pose. So if you want to set yourself up for a nice relaxing Shavasana, add a blanket over or under you if you need more cushion. And as you rest in Shavasana, I've got sort of a long reading, but I wanted to give you a chance to really soak up this reading. As you relax and surrender, close your eyes. Let it all go. Relax your body. Notice in your body where you're feeling the yin stretches. This long reading I'd like to share comes from Christy Ann Martine. When your world moves too fast and you lose yourself in the chaos, introduce yourself to each color of the sunset. Reacquaint yourself with the earth beneath your feet. Thank the air that surrounds you with every breath that you take. And find yourself in the appreciation of life. I hope our practice has you feeling that. Slow down. Let go of what you no longer need. Welcome in what fits your body. Become mindful and be present. I hope you've enjoyed your practice today and you feel stillness and calm within. Namaste.